Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some new news that is coming from the Hollywood Reporter in regards to a DCTV show that is coming supposedly to HBO Max later in the next year or so. But for now, if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so first off, I want to apologize for the lack of uploads over the last week. I was away in Greece, I had a great time, but I just wasn't able to make that many videos, so I apologize. That is the reason for the lack of uploads. But we're back, we're going to be uploading as much as possible. Obviously, we always aim for daily, but every 2 days is, decent whilst the shows aren't on. Obviously, The Flash is going to be coming back, along with Superman and Lois, in January, so we're going to be leading up to then. Also, we got films, we got new TV shows, we got announcements, so don't go anywhere guys. We are in full throttle mode for videos, so yeah, stick around. But for now, let's go ahead and read through this Hollywood Reporter article, which goes over Greg Berlanti's Green Lantern HBO Max series, and the title says it's still being developed, but it's being redeveloped as it loses its writer. So let's read this article out, because the Green Lantern TV show has been coming along and supposedly been in development for many years, and we've been waiting for it, and now we finally have some news about what is going on behind the scenes. So we're going to read through this article. Again, you can find a link in the description below to the Hollywood Reporter article if you want to read it yourself after the video. But for now, this is how it goes, and we'll break it down just after I read through it. So HBO Max's long gestating Green Lantern TV series is changing gears. The drama, which has been in work since late 2019, will now focus on John Stewart, one of DC's first black superheroes. The series from executive producer Greg Berlanti was to originally revolve around Guy Gardner and Alan Scott, and had already cast Finn Wittrock and Jeremy Irvine as the respected Green Lanterns. As part of the creative overhaul, writer and showrunner Seth Grahame-Smith, who wrote the Lego Batman movie, and he's been involved in films like It as a producer, has departed the series after completing scripts for a full season of 8 episodes. Sources say Grahame-Smith, who signed on as a writer and showrunner a year after Green Lantern was announced, chose to leave the project after weathering a number of regime changes at HBO Max, its parent company Warner Bros. Discovery, producers, Warner Bros. TV, and also now DC Comics. So let's break down this first bit before we go on to the rest of the article. So yes, HBO Max's Green Lantern show is still going ahead. That is the important thing. However, the more important thing is they are completely changing the path that they had originally been on, and that is they've got these 8 episodes and they got the scripts all done as of right now, and for some reason they're choosing to completely stop what they were doing and start from scratch and literally wipe out the 2 Green Lanterns which the show was going to focus on, so Guy Gardner and Alan Scott, which had already been cast. So this is a big deal. Now they are changing it to John Stewart. And I think the news has some good and some bad in it. Obviously, it's not good for the people that have already been working on the show, and he's been working on it for a long time. He's finished the screenplays, and now pretty much they're going to get dumped. But I have to say, I'm very excited by the prospect of a John Stewart TV show. Obviously, we've been talking in relation to kind of the Green Lantern world for a while, especially with John Diggle, who many speculated could be a alternate version of John Stewart just for the Arrowverse, and that's why they've teased this Green Lantern storyline for so long. Again, we don't know if that's going to happen on Superman and Lois or not, but John Stewart is huge in the comics, and if you're an animation fan, you would have loved him in the Justice League animated show from a long time ago, and also Justice League Unlimited, because he is one of the best characters on that show. So I'm totally down for a John Stewart show. I just think it's strange that they are kind of pivoting at such a crucial stage, like they're going back to scratch. So I don't know if it's some sort of behind the scenes thing with the showrunner and the writer leaving. Does that mean that they have to scrap the scripts because he doesn't want to be involved in it at all? Maybe that is the reason why they're completely changing it, so they want to go for a different Green Lantern in order to kind of escape from telling the same story that he was going to tell with Guy Gardner and Alan Scott. Obviously, that is just a huge deal because this is going to take years more for them to actually develop and release as a proper show. So yeah, this is a huge creative overhaul, and it seems that because of the changes at Warner Brothers, and maybe they contacted him specifically about the Green Lantern show, it seems he actually chose to leave and probably brought his screenplays with him because of some sort of disagreement that he had with the people at Warner Bros. TV or anyone higher up. So let's move on with this article. So it goes on like this: the decision to refocus Green Lantern arrives at a pivotal time for DC. Sources say the character of John Stewart was off the table to producers who envisioned the show as focusing on the first Green Lantern, the openly gay Alan Scott, and Guy Gardner, as well as a multitude of other Lanterns from comic book favourites to never before seen heroes. With DC Comics topper Walter Hamada's recent exit, a decision was made to start over and build the show around Stewart, a character who first appeared in the early 1970s and was modelled after Sidney Poitier, the actor. And it's worth noting that the Green Lantern creative overhaul has nothing to do with the news that James Gunn and Peter Safran have been tapped to lead film, TV and animation at the newly established DC Studios in a role similar to what Kevin Feige is doing over at Marvel. Of the previous Green Lantern incarnation, only Berlanti and his Warner Bros. TV-based Berlanti Productions remain attached. Fellow executive producer Mark Guggenheim, who was originally poised to co-write the pilot alongside Graham Smith, had not recently been involved with the show ahead of its retooling. When HBO Max announced Green Lantern in October 2019, Berlanti described it as the biggest show ever made, with plans for the series to go to space. Insiders at the time said it was also poised to be the most expensive show ever made by DC, and easily the largest for HBO Max, with a budget estimated in the $120 million range. House of Dragon, by comparison, costs less than $200 million. The show's budget going forward is expected to be significantly less, as HBO Max under David Zaslav's combined Warner Bros. Discovery is focusing on right-sizing its various assets as part of the move to find an estimated $3 billion in cost savings. Zaslav and his division leaders have dropped a number of projects, including Berlanti's planned Strange Adventures anthology for HBO Max, J.J. Abrams' other series, and also the Batgirl feature film. And apparently the 8 completed Green Lantern scripts are expected to be included in Warner Bros. Discovery's tax write-downs, as sources maintain it wasn't Graham Smith's creative that ultimately doomed the first incarnation of the show, but rather its price tag. So, well, there you go, we have a little bit of answer there in regards to what happened. So it seems the higher-ups did decide, along with all of the huge tax write-offs that Warner Bros. Discovery has been doing, that's the reason for Batgirl being cancelled and them completely scrapping the film, because they want to get the money that they spent back. And so they are doing the same thing with Green Lantern because they don't think it's worth it being this costly. So they're going to lower the budget, they're going to focus it on one character rather than loads of characters. And so apparently it wasn't Graham Smith's creative choice to exit the show, but rather he was told, look, this is too expensive, this is not going to happen, we're going to have to change the show. And then I believe he left when they told him this. And so as for Whitrock and Irvine, who have been cast, neither remains signed on to Green Lantern. Sources indicate that Greg Berlanti's Berlanti Productions is eager to work with both actors when and if the project, which currently has a script to series commitment, moves forward. In spring 2021, when they were cast, the show was still being fast-tracked and was to begin shooting that same year. The project is now on a slower, more HBO-like development track under Lois and Warner Bros. TV topper Channing Dungey, someone who's just like high up in Warner Bros. TV, and a new logline for the series has not yet been determined, as the project is back to being in early development. And so yeah, this is crazy news. This is all to do with Warner Bros. Discovery once again, and them trying to save money and basically scrapping a bunch of projects and restarting some projects like this I think this is one of the lucky projects where at least we're still going to be supposedly getting a Green Lantern show, despite them throwing away the past iteration of the show. But they want to go for a cheaper Green Lantern show, and I guess focusing on one character like John Stewart could be a good possibility. And obviously people are still going to be interested in seeing a John Stewart Green Lantern show, even if it's not the huge project that Greg Berlanti promised when he first announced it back in 2019 in October. It's still going to be huge, and so like the article says, it comes at a pivotal time for DC with all of the changes. So a decision was made to start over and build the show around Stewart, and for now literally the only people that are still involved is Greg Berlanti and his production company. And so there's always the chance, considering this is a Greg Berlanti show, this could link to the Arrowverse. And I mean, I could totally see if they want to keep it more low budget, it could be more like a CW show. And if it's John Stewart, I don't see a reason why they would not potentially include a crossover with John Diggle. And that is because obviously his Green Lantern links, and we've been teasing this for a long time and we just haven't found the opportunity to see him as Green Lantern. And also David Ramsey, who plays John Diggle in the Arrowverse, has said that potentially they could continue this Green Lantern story, not on the Flash, that story has been finished, but maybe on Superman and Lois, because it's a new version of the Diggle character from the Superverse, and basically they can start from scratch. So potentially there is a future for Green Lantern in terms of John Diggle, and maybe, just maybe, with Greg Berlanti being so involved in this show and also involved in Superman and Lois and The Flash and everything, of course, there could be a potential crossover. Now, I could be totally stretching it. There are probably no plans as of right now. This is just me theorizing that with this Green Lantern show coming, I think it would be a cool opportunity to kind of see John Diggle for the first time on screen as a Green Lantern. For now, we'll have to wait and see if this project actually comes to fruition, but it's good that they are continuing with it despite Warner Bros. Discovery completely scrapping the first version of the project, them having to find a whole new creative team and potentially new cast members, because they aren't going to go with the same characters that they had before. They're going to have to find their John Stewart. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. And also you can click the join button to become a member. You'll be able to join in with members live streams and members Zoom calls. But for now, if you click on the top right corner of the screen, you can watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.